we'll switch to F1 quickly, and we'll just do a quick recap of obviously Baku, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix that just happened. I would say a surprising result, for obviously various reasons, being the accident that happened at the end, the incident, and then obviously Leclerc again. The curse continues
Yeah, not managing to win from pole. Piastri getting the
again.
win. Yeah, again, like isn't it like 4 or 5 times he's done that now? Where he's
That was the
at
fourth time, yeah.
Azerbaijan, he just never manages to get the win. But yeah, obviously him coming in second, Piastri getting the win, him getting his second win, which is obviously everyone's saying, everyone's comparing him and Lando, like the length is amount of time it's taken them to get
Yeah.
to 2 wins. But that's just them. That's just everyone trying to build up that rivalry, which isn't a rivalry.
Hmm.
Obviously, Williams doing really well,
Yeah.
getting big points. You saw them. There was a picture of them like proper celebrating that, which is fair enough. They got big points
Mm.
in regards to like that, like the rest of the best, the rest of the pack sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because down there, like every point matters. Colapinto and Behrman both getting points as rookies in their second race. So, and then obviously Behrman has that record of points as a rookie with 2 different teams, which is quite
Yeah.
funny.
Very cool. And Colapinto, fun fact for this, is that in to the 2 races now that Colapinto has raced, he has scored more points than Logan Sargent and Latifi in their combined 69 races, which is just mega.
That's mad.
It is mad. And obviously it's all timing. Like maybe they're like,
obviously Williams are better now.
yeah, but he it's a street. He's come in at very tough tracks. He could have been this one, and Singapore's going to be a really another challenging one. So if he scores points again, I think maybe that disproves the whole. Well, it's just because I think Latifi and Logan
they look
crashed.
good this weekend. They do. In FP3, they were up there. They were like 7th and 8th, or I think maybe 9th and 8th.
You have skipped over the most dramatic part of Baku, which was
Perez
and Sainz crashing.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, yeah. And so
yeah. So that I have. I'm of the opinion.
Here we go.
That was more Perez than Sainz.
I would somewhat agree. I think it was straight out racing incident. This happens in games, like when you play the F1 game, tires touch and your cars just lose control, and you're like, this is so unrealistic. But actually, those cars are traveling. It's the friction when they mold, and it's always going to end badly. And when there's bigger tracks, they just wiggle away. But because it's a street, you hit a wall. I would say that Perez had room on his left, a lot more room. I give you that. But Sainz did not. He was not squeezed. He had room on the right hand side.
Yeah, but he was just going like
whoa. What I think is that Sainz was not looking left or right because he thought, well, that car's gonna have loads of room. I have room. I'm just gonna keep going. And what he did was try to follow Leclerc to get the toe and get the slipstream.
Yeah.
So I think because of that natural drift. And Perez would have gone, well, he knows I'm on his side, so why would he drift left? So I think Sainz did move into Perez, but I think there is more logical argument that Perez probably should have been, as he was not in front of him and he was not fully alongside, he should have gone for that cars coming across. But they were so close, going so fast, out of a corner. I just can't believe they risked it all. I get why, but Perez especially.
It's more like, obviously Sainz is ahead of him, so he's not looking behind. He's looking ahead. He's looking at Leclerc thinking like, right, I'm going along the racing line. You can see his steering wheel is straight. He's just drifting over, and he's trying to get the slipstream, obviously, like you said, from Leclerc. Perez can see him coming over, and Perez has all this room on the left. Perez is probably trying to do the same, where he's like in the Leclerc strip slip. So that's why Sainz is slowly drifting over. And I just think Perez had more room, and Perez can see him drifting over, and he just doesn't move. He just doesn't. All Perez has to do is tiny bit left, and it's fine.
So to answer your point on the steering wheel being straight, that is correct. But it's straight, but he's not driving in a straight line. He's driving.
Yeah, and I know, I get that. Yeah.
And so it again, I don't think it's anyone's fault. It's just Sainz equally. I could counter, play devil's advocate, saying he just had to take that corner, compromised because him and Leclerc had a little weird little moment, and so he should have thought Perez is going to be on me, and so should have been like looking behind because he thought
Yeah.
because Leclerc was a long way up the road. He's not thinking I'm on the attack. He was then should be thinking I'm on the defense, and I think he would have been. And so, from afterwards,
It
I
was
think we can
just
both
so
tell.
unnecessary, though.
Uh,
All about everything about it was so unnecessary. They both were doing really well. Perez
yeah,
was finally going to get beat Verstappen this year. He's
get
finally going to
points.
get like a good result,
Yeah.
and they both just send it, and it was so unnecessary. Perez could have been on the podium,
Well, you
and
say he could have been on the podium. That's the thing, though. Would he? Should he? And this is the question I think we should have been asking and thinking about the most of it is, should he have let Sainz go and just secured fourth place? Because he might have got him. I'm not. Let's just say in that corner, in that mentality, yeah, he could have got him on the DRS at the end and pipped him at the line. Quite probably, the car was fast enough and it was good. But at the same time, was it worth the risk? Like, should it? But
no,
he's thinking. But for him, but we are not drivers for that reason because he's like, oh, I could get fourth and get points, but I could be on the podium. And for his career, being fourth and being on the podium, I think was a real make or break for him. And I think, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
But then again, it shows that maybe he's not the right fit now for Red Bull because, if he was just sensible and just got fourth, or even he could have got third and it was just sensible and just went for the overtake on a better corner, better line, better part of the track.
And so you've just said it there. Maybe he's not the man, and I think that leads on to some great gossip and rumours that's happening as we build up to this Singapore Grand Prix. Obviously, Daniel Ricciardo, depending on how you want to say it, is rumoured to be at threat of losing his seat because it has come out that Liam Lawson, after this race, will become a free contract if he does not get upgraded into the first team or into a seat in F1. So I would like to say a hot take and say that this is all smoke and mirrors. And considering the result of Baku, I possibly think that Liam Lawson is going to get stepped up and go into the RB car. But Ricciardo's career maybe is not at risk because he has a seat.
What do you think he's going to take the Red Bull?
I'm just saying a hot take. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? I think it could be.
It would be
surprising
strange though because well, why would they think he's obviously the Red Bull's a better car than an RB and everything like that? So obviously he's going to get better points. It is obviously a better car, but but I don't see how you can look at Ricciardo's results and just his general racing and think, that's the one for Red Bull.
Yeah, but Christian Horner loves him, and I think what really should happen is Perez should go or get replaced by Tsunoda. And Ricciardo should stay in the RB to show that he's got consistency of performing at that car's level. So he's not going to win, but can he be where he should be for that car? And that's their decision to make what that is. And then Lawson should take Tsunoda's seat. I think that's right. I think Perez.
That would make sense. That would make more sense
had his time
because then you finally give Tsunoda his chance, see if he's because everyone loves Yuki. Everyone sees all that potential he has, and they're just waiting for him to basically grow up.
Yeah. But will what happened? I think anyone who goes in that Red Bull seat when Max Verstappen is their teammate, you'll get the Albon effect, you'll get the Ricciardo effect, you'll get the Gasly effect, where they all went into RB with Max Verstappen and they all came out sour. They all came out off the worst end of it. Well, I think Perez should go, and I think they should get rid of Lance Stroll. They should put him in an Aston Martin. You could have Alonso and Perez, and I actually think that could be a really good duo.
That would be. I'd be interested in that. To be fair.
Yeah, I listen. It's ifs and buts and it's dreaming and stuff, but it's a tough one. I just think. I won't say what I think, but I think a good question would be is do we think we'll get to the end of the season and the Red Bull and the RB team will still be the same drivers as it is going into this weekend?
Yeah, see, that's why I thought Lawson was going to come in at the start of next year.
Yes, that's what I
thought.
So
but then there's conflicting reports saying that maybe he'll come in after this race because some people are saying that obviously this is going to be. There was people saying this is going to be Ricciardo's last race in Singapore, racing the Singapore Grand Prix, and then there's other people saying this is going to be his last race in F1 in general. So I probably lean on the side of Lawson will come in 2025, and they'll wait and they'll just leave it as it is. But again, they're seeing William. They might, yeah, maybe. But they're also seeing like Williams do really well, so they might be thinking, right, we've got to change the drivers to see if we can get some more points.
Yeah.
Because obviously the constructors, everything like that is getting all switched up now that Williams are doing well. So
Do you know who
RB might be
Lawson could
like,
go?
right, we need to catch them.
Another hot take. I think you're entirely right, and I think that could be the reason that maybe Daniel gets replaced because they need the points now. But if they don't replace him before the end of the year, I could see Kick come kicking around for Liam Lawson in preparation for Audi, because it'd be great to have a young talent in a team that's new. And so it depends what Lawson wants. It depends if he wants to. It depends who he thinks will be most competitive. Will Audi come into the sport and invest loads of money and realign that projections for that team? Because right now they're only going down. Admittedly, they were the fastest pit stop last week, which is I don't know, which is great for them, I guess.
It's obviously great.
Yeah, and they only gained places because of that crash. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens after this weekend because I think there's a bit of a gap between the next race. But yeah, I 100% agree with you. I really thought he was going to come in at the end, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess. And depends how much. It all depends about how much love Christian Horner has for Daniel Ricciardo. I think because as we saw from
there's definitely still that love there.
So. Some weird. Like I think it might be like parental, like he sees
him kind of like
something
father-son thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so. Something like weird like that. I feel at least something really really odd. And so yeah, I think it could be interesting. I think the RBs though in practices looked pretty strong. They looked strong yesterday, but into this morning's one they looked a bit questionable. But same with Ferrari. They didn't look too strong this morning.
Ferrari didn't look great,
and Leclerc looked visibly frustrated in the interview.
Yeah, he looked very frustrated.
So I'm looking at my F1 team on my other screen right now. I'll be very honest with you. I have not changed it. I've got 3 free transfers, and we've got 12 minutes till qualifying starts. I've got to lock it in. And my current team, and I want your opinion of this, is Lando Norris, George Russell, Albon, Zhou, Colapinto, the McLaren car, and the Mercedes car. Now, before you give your opinion, the only thing I'm thinking about doing, possibly, is taking Albon out, and I'd have to put Bottas in, but then I could afford the Ferrari car. Do you think I should be safe and spread bet effectively, or do you think I should? Do you think the Mercedes have got it? I could technically replace George for Sainz as well. But do you remember last year George crashed into the wall on the last lap?
Yeah, he made a couple of mistakes as well in practice. He was like proper going for it, and then he just like some of the corners he just went straight instead of going actually around the corner.
He's practicing.
Yeah. Is there any way you can put in Russell and then sell the Ferrari car?
Yeah, I can do that, but I'd have to have Bottas. I would have a cool 1.3 million spare, but the reason I don't like having the Ferrari car and Russell or Sainz is that I have to have both kit cars. While I think Williams will finish in the point, even if they're 9th and 10th. I think. Can you not have Colapinto? I can have Colapinto because he's the cheapest, but I think I want to keep Albon, so I think I'm gonna risk it with the Mercedes. I was very lucky in Azerbaijan with that crash. Very lucky to have them.
Yeah, because it annoyed me because I put in Leclerc.
You did quite badly.
I used the chip thing where you put in Leclerc like after the qualifying, and then Lando ended up getting like the most points anyway. So
that's because of the crash though. Because like if that crash didn't happen, he wouldn't have got those extra takeover points, and if that crash didn't happen, maybe Leclerc wouldn't have. Like it was all. Norris did a great drive. Maybe
he did a great drive.
He did a quality drive to finish. Like even if he didn't finish 4th and he finished 6th because that crash didn't happen, I think that really showed it for me. The pinnacle moment was to show that he could still be world champion this season. The driver's world champion is that he got those mediums on, and the engineer said go and get Max, and he did it and did it very comfortably.
He didn't like take time with it. It was just like pretty straightforward for him.
And when he got to him, he just overtook him really easily, and it wasn't like a big hoo-ha. It wasn't in his head or anything, which was really good. But I think I might leave the team as it is, which is I'm gonna roll the dice. George in that live final practice really surprised me. I was trying to do the maths in my head, and I just couldn't be bothered to get a piece of paper out. But if George, let's say, finishes 2nd, so I've got him in the Mercedes car, is it better than having Sainz and the 2 Ferraris? Because I think they could finish like 4th and 5th, but Lewis Hamilton will be like 8th. So it's really difficult to work out the maths where...
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, theoretically, I probably should have the Ferrari car, but
But then I've got the Ferrari car, so if Mercedes do really well, it will be different. So, as in, like, you'll get more points than I'll get. So, if you
Yeah,
want to like beat me, go Mercedes, I guess.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting. It's gonna be it's because it's a street circuit though. Because whoever we pick, they could bid it for corner one because someone else crashes
Yeah,
into them.
exactly.
It's a really and it's a harsh go down, harsh braking first corner, take a left, and anyone could just bin it. I think probably the smart man would take Albon out, put Bottas in, and then take the Ferrari, and then leave George, and that's a smart like safety net bet.
Yeah.
But I would like to be not the smart man because I found out like I was looking at a league on the fancy app that I thought was like everyone playing the game. It was like 300k plus players, where I'm ranked 2,177. And I realized actually there's public leagues, which is everyone. So out of the 2.4 million people who play the game, I'm ranked 5,898. So I really want to get
good.
yeah. And in the UK, there's 400,000 people playing, and I'm in the top 1,000. I'm 978. And in the Lando Norris one, there's 300k people, and I'm 906. So I really like. I could go for the safe bet, and I think I'd stay very similar. So I want to risk it because I want to get further. And so
Yeah, no, I'd go with that option. Yeah.
yeah, but because I'm pretty safe in our league, and so yeah, it's an interesting one. The league's great. If anyone is watching or listening, you should really play F1 Fantasy if you enjoy F1. I think it, especially because now like you start, I'm rooting for Zhao because he's in my team.
Just because he's in your team, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gives
You
you a
get
bit
those
more.
odd ones. Like I'm
Yeah.
very for Colapinto because he's in my team.
Oh yeah, same. I've got both. Yeah, and I think the Williams are gonna, despite the fantasy, I think it's gonna be really interesting to see if Williams' rise keeps happening. I've been going on about it for ages. Obviously, in the F1 thingies I do, I've been singing their praises, and it's just, you could just see it coming slowly. Albon was driving the car really effectively, and I don't know if that was actually shows the upgrades have been here for longer than we realized, and Logan just made Williams look like a bad team, and that's why
Yeah,
they changed him.
I think that just the change of Logan, I think it's just taken like a load off their back kind of thing, and just like taken away the negativity. You bring in Colapinto, kind of like it's all like kind of fresh, and it's because you brought in a rookie. There's not as much pressure, so Albon can just race. He can all the team are just there's not too much pressure on them. They can just do what they do best. And yeah, I think it's really just brought a new positivity to them, and it's just really helped them kick on. And I hope they continue, because obviously you want Williams. It'd be nice to see like Williams like maybe become like the new Aston Martin
Or rival
like,
Aston Martin, like if they
just
up in the
like
next few
just like
races,
challenge and just see
yeah.
if they can break into that.
So there's more like a midfield
top four.
actual battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that would be cool if they could like chase, because it's like you kind of like got the top four and then you've got the rest. So if they could like try being like the best of the rest, that would be quite cool.
Yeah. And then before we'll just wrap it up shortly. But I think the interesting part would be to finish it is to take away from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix is not just the incident or McLaren's dominance or Williams gaining. It's more Red Bull. I think was really interesting to observe. Like all the comments that are coming out about Perez is like this. The car's been like this for ages. I've been telling them, but Max was still doing well. So no, we just didn't deal with it. But now Max is finally his confidence has been knocked, and it shows how much confidence is key. I think he was dragging that car around, and he's now shown everyone that he was on form, like any players in any sports, and now he's lost that form. He's like, and now he's realized that he's been dragging that car around, and it's more noticeable when you think back to the races that he was winning. He in the practices and stuff, he was still complaining like mad that the car was completely like all over the place. But again, they just buried their heads in the sand because they were still popping the champagne at the end. And so, do you think he'll lose? Just to wrap it up slightly now, do you think? One, I think personally they've lost the championship. It's now actually probably McLaren against Ferrari probably in the last 7 races. And do you think that it's so bad they won't be able to bounce back and stop Lando winning the thingy? Do you think Lando has got a good chance? Or do you think Max is just like hoping that Lando DNFs to like save him?
I do think Red Bull have like it's been like a slow decline for them, but unfortunately, I do think Max will still manage to win, because I don't think Lando's going to get enough separation in each race, as in like Lando finishes first, it'll be like Max second. It'll be,
You
or,
think? But I do like.
I'm not about to like today, like tomorrow. Like it might be like Max.
But for the
Max
rest
might
of it,
finish first. But I reckon like over the course of the next 7 races, I feel like Max is going to stick close enough that it's not going to be. I feel like it will be very close to the end, and then I feel like it will just be like if it's really close to the end, I reckon Max will just turn it on and just get his mojo back. But at the end of the day, I guess it all depends on the car, really. So
yeah,
I do think McLaren are in a very good position. I think Lando's in a very good position.
This race will make or break. Actually,
Obviously, yeah. If he manages to win this race,
wins fastest point, that's 26 points, and let's say Max comes sixth, and I think that's actually quite optimistic.
If something like that happens, then yeah, obviously
he would gain 18 points on him, and I do not know how many points off by heart. What's the F1?
I think it's like 70 odd.
So he is on 300, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna try and do it now. So they're 59 points apart. So if he does what I just said, they would be down to 41 points apart with 6 races to go.
6 races. So there is every chance. Like it is really open.
Max just needs the DNF and just to spice it up, really, doesn't he?
Obviously, if there's something goes wrong, Max. Imagine like in tomorrow, like Max just sent it into the wall or whatever.
Yeah, or even remember they qualified like really, really poorly last year. I don't think they made it out into like Q3. I think so. If they start at the back and can't move forward, if they don't score any points, I don't know why I'm saying they. Doesn't matter about Perez. If Max does not score any points, because they're not going to win the constructors. Like it's
no, they've lost the constructors now.
If Max
the constructors have gone.
Yeah, if Max scores 0 points and Lando then comes first, and let's assume he gets the fastest. Let's assume he doesn't get the fastest lap. If he like takes 25 off that margin, he quite comfortably. There's like a lot less pressure.
Puts him in the driving seat, then, doesn't it? If it puts him within touching distance, so.
But yeah.
No, I obviously for our sense, I hope Lando does do it. But you know, like I still think there's a lot of twists to come. I feel like Max will get his mojo back at some point.
See, that's interesting. I think Ferrari might be the thorn in McLaren's side. I think they could be the ones that like hinder his progress. Like I think this race they've got it pretty locked in. It seems McLaren's pretty set up for this circuit. But I think then in the latter races, I think Max might win because Leclerc steps up. And I think so it'll be interesting to see, like, you know, when this season ends, if your theory was right or my theory was right. But I think you both have a feeling something's going to go wrong for McLaren. I just think it's looking too plain.
It could be just McLaren just being McLaren, and then just stupid strategy, not telling Piastri that Lando's our number one, whatever it is. It could be something like that. But it sets out nicely either way for the last 6 races. And we'll see how we turn up at the end.
We'll wait and see. Well, okay, and then we'll end it there. Thank you for watching, everyone, and
thank you.
See you next time.
See you next time.